Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. So, I've talked about forgiveness before, and it's a really tricky subject, and I get that there's a lot um, of beliefs and ideas around forgiveness and what it means to forgive someone. And, there's lots of people that are like, you should forgive and forget. When people hurt you, you should turn the other cheek and all that good stuff. And that everyone makes mistakes, and the forgiveness is really for you, not for them, and all of that. And all of those can be true. I'm not saying that they're not. I'm just saying that for each person, whether they forgive, especially in the case of infidelity, is a really personal thing. And yet I feel like there's a lot of pressure put on the people who've been cheated on to forgive. It's like, it's just there's this idea that, you have to forgive your partner, you have to be willing to work on the relationship, and yada, 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 and it takes two to rebuild it, and all that stuff. And again, all of that is true. But the reality is that if it's against your morals and your values, if the betrayal just feels like too much, if for whatever reason you don't want to forgive and forget, you don't have to, right? There's nothing that says that you have to forgive being betrayed by someone that you love. There's nothing that says that that's the right thing to do. It's an individual choice, right? So I can't tell you whether you should forgive your partner. First of all, I don't know all the dynamics at play. I don't know what your relationship is like. All I can say is that whatever choice you choose, do it for you. Do it for your best mental, physical, spiritual, whatever health. Don't do it because, I want to make it work because we have kids together, or, I want to make it work because we have this whole, friend group and community that we've built together. I get that those are important things, and I'm not saying that they're not. However, they can't be the only reasons. They can't be, and I get that we put a lot of ourselves into a relationship. We invest a lot of ourselves emotionally, physically, and then it's hard to just walk away. However, I see far too many people a year out, 2 years out, maybe even longer, who are just like, I forgave them, and yet I can't get past this because I still don't trust them fully, or I still don't feel secure. And the reason why that usually is because their partner hasn't done anything to actually make it possible for their partner to forgive and move on, right? They haven't done the work. They just think like, if I say some words and enough time passes, then she'll forgive me and we can move on. But that's not what forgive and forget means. Forgive means that you can actually reconcile that with your beliefs and your morals and values, and find a way that you go, I truly understand why they did what they did. I can see their standpoint. I can see it from their point of view. I really understand. Most of the time, you can't get to that point because you can understand, because the other person doesn't understand. The other person hasn't done the work to truly understand why they went against their own morals and values. So they can't even begin to help you understand. And so without that component to it, we can all just have compassion for people and say, yeah, people make mistakes. But why? Why do they make mistakes? And I don't need to know why you make a mistake or anyone else makes a mistake in order to feel compassion. But I would need to know why my partner made that mistake in particular in order for me to not just have compassion, but understanding, And to truly be able to move on, I would need that personally. That's just me. And so as much as I can be in a session with clients, and I can think to myself, as this person's describing their feelings and the fact that they're going to continue to work on it with their partner, I'm not sitting there thinking to myself, well, I would never do that, so you shouldn't either, and I would never voice that. But what I might think to myself is, I wouldn't do that. I wonder why she would, and ask questions from there, because that's curiosity, and that's what I bring. So I might have my own beliefs and feelings around a certain topic, and infidelity is one of the ones that I have, pretty strong feelings about personally, in that I can be, I can think, well, and I've expressed this to, all of you, but also to my husband, that's just that's something I wouldn't probably be able to forgive and forget. I don't think that I could move past that without a ton of work on his part, right? So, and even then, I don't know if I could. So I want to give voice to the fact that whatever way you're leaning, whatever way you're wanting to lean, I can support that even while having these beliefs myself. But I wanted to get on and talk about the fact that if you don't want to forgive and forget, then there's a space for that, right? Because there's all kinds of space given to people who are able to move on and forgive, and oh, aren't they the bigger person? And, wow, they're so compassionate and caring and whatnot. But the same grace probably isn't being given to the ones that don't forgive and forget, because then they have to justify why they're not willing to stay in this relationship with someone who has betrayed them and caused, a trauma in their relationship, right? So I wanted to, share that other side of it, because I work with both sides. I have women who've come to me and they've been cheated on, they've been betrayed, and they're wanting to find a way to work through it to stay with the partner. And then I've also had the clients who come and they're like, I'm done. I just need to find ways to deal with these feelings inside of me so that I can move on without them, right? I need to find a way to kind of integrate this experience in a way that allows me to move on without them in a healthy way. So I see both sides, and I just wanted to give fair play to both sides. And so regardless of which way you find yourself leaning or feeling or believing, you can find support in sitting down with someone who's able to stay curious and to question, and not in an interrogating way. I'm not going to interrogate you. Why do you believe that? Why would you forgive him? It's more like, oh, interesting. Okay, so tell me more. Why, what is it about this relationship that, you feel so strongly about saving? What is it about them? Tell me more. Because often what happens in those scenarios is that they start off, on the surface level saying, yeah, well, it's because I love them and I don't want to ruin this life. But then when I ask them to tell me more, they can find things that they love about their partner that they had forgotten, and it helps them to kind of look at their partner in a new way, and that can be a really positive thing, right? I had a client who, by the end of the session, she was like, I didn't realize that I was holding on to these thoughts that I had about my husband, and it was keeping me from really truly forgiving and loving him. And then I've had other clients who, when I ask more, that's when they start to clue in that, oh, it wasn't just the cheating, right? It was something else. There was more. He did this and he treated me this way and he made me feel this way about myself. And so it can be a light shown on all of the positives that maybe they're forgetting because they've gotten caught in a loop of negativity. And it can also shine light on some of the negative stuff because they've been wearing rose-colored glasses the entire time. So me being able to stay curious can really just help them find their truth without me, imposing my ideas or beliefs about it, because it doesn't matter whether I would forgive Donnie if he cheated on me. That's that's mine and his relationship, right? And so it doesn't really matter to you or anyone else. I just get on and I share my feelings about these things so that people know that they're not alone, but also to let you know that when you're sitting down in a healing kind of space with someone, that if that person is bringing their biases and their beliefs to the situation to the point where they can't see how you could forgive, or they can't see why you can't forgive because of their own beliefs or whatever, then that's not going to be a space that allows you to find your truth, whatever that is. So again, whichever way you believe in this particular case, and I talked about cheating, but there's so many other things that people feel morally, like have strong moral feelings about. And the thing is that if it's a boundary breaking thing for you, then that's what it is, right? So you don't have to forgive and allow this person to still have space in your heart and in your life if you don't want to. That's what boundaries are for, right? And maybe if you're choosing to stay and you're redefining boundaries, then that's your choice too. So it's important to remember that every situation is different, and that the right kind of work can help you get to the root of your feelings and your beliefs and your values, and helps give you that clarity to know, how do I want to move going forward? Like, how do I want to go forward knowing this about my partner and how it affects me? Like that's the kind of clarity that you get in a situation where the person that you're sitting with can stay impartial and can bring that unconditional positive regard for you, right? So if that's what you're needing, if you're needing someone to talk to, you're not sure whether you can forgive, or maybe you are sure that you can forgive, but you want to have some help with the feelings that are still lingering, so that you can just be able to, fully give yourself like that allow yourself to be vulnerable again, whether it's with the same person, or maybe it's, I'm moving on, but I can't forgive and I don't know how to be vulnerable with new people. Maybe you're in that situation, right? So wherever you find yourself in the spectrum, please feel free to reach out. I'm here to help. I help women get their confidence back after they've been, in toxic relationships, been cheated on, that sort of thing. I help women feel sexy again if they've kind of lost connection to their sensual side. So I'm here for you. Feel free to reach out. You can private message me. You don't have to comment publicly if you don't want to. We can chat privately. So thank you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Namaste.